Record local. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. We are here this week to share our top movies of 2022. As always, please visit our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. And don't forget to go find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what else? YouTube, and Hive at Hollywood Matrimony. Woo! We're recording. Okay, I don't know what I did, but we're live, but it also says I'm recording, which I don't even know what that means. We'll see what happens. When you go to the website, don't forget to hit the contest button and please like, share, subscribe, send hearts, send bubbles, send cash, whatever. Send good wishes, prayers and thoughts, whatever. We will take all of it from you. Thank you so much. Are you ready, my friend?
Sure.
All right. So every year we do our top 10. And every year I am scrambling at the last minute, looking at a list of all the movies from the year because I haven't kept up. And you're such a good one. You keep your list going throughout the year.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't do that. I am a mess all over. I'm a disaster. If I could explain
and every
to you,
year you go, oh, I need to do that.
But like
and then at this part of the year
the
goes, you
hour
go, oh, I haven't
before.
done it.
Like the hour before it's time, I'm scrambling. Like, what was the name of that movie? Is this a comedy? Is it a drama? What is it? And so I'm freaking out. And so what we did kindly, this kind man has allowed me to do, we're going to pick some categories. We have top horror, comedy, action, drama, and animation. We're going to share our top 5 in each category, and then we're going to share our overall top 10 of the year.
And I want to give props for props are due. He unintentionally, the idea came from my buddy Freddie.
Thank you, Freddie.
Because he had posted online, hey, here's my top 10 movies. And don't worry, I'll have a top 10 horror thing. And I thought about, why don't we separate ours out? Now, just so you know, our top 10 lists or our lists are not necessarily these were the better movies than other movies. They're also movies that we just liked. Yeah. We loved. So, yes, there's going to be some of those films that are probably going to get award buzz. Some are going to be like that movie.
That's probably going to be all of
mine. Some of it might be a nostalgia thing. Some of it might be a fun thing. It's our opinion. And if you don't like it, you can go yourself. I don't care.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, getting all bougie.
Wow.
All right.
So where do we want to start?
Well, I'll let you choose where you'd like to start, my love.
Okay, my friend. Hold on. Come watch our show. Top movies.
I apologize. I have
Space Funk.
Yeah, I have a cough.
I'm going to tell my friends to come. But we've got you on medication, so you're not contagious.
Yeah, I'm not contagious.
Come watch our show. We're talking about the top movies of 2022. I'm telling people to come watch. Okay. Go. All right. I'm going to start with horror. Horror.
All right. Hold on. I'm still doing something else. Go ahead.
I put slides together for mine because that's how it was.
She didn't tell me we were doing that.
I can put slides for you.
No, it's fine. She told me she put slides together right before she went, hey, we're live.
No, I thought you knew because during the year, that's how I found a way to do this is I tried to do a little bit better this year and save some. And so as we got into like the last few months, I started just saving the slides of the movies I liked so that I could go through it from there. But anyways, you want to share your list for horror?
Why don't you do yours first?
Okay.
Because I'm fixing something from our last video.
Let me share my screen, friends. These are my top 5 horror movies of 2022 in no particular order. I am picking the movie that just recently came out, Violent Night.
See, and I don't think that's a horror movie.
You don't? Do you think it's a comedy?
I think it's an action movie.
I'm putting it in horror.
That's funny.
You know what? It is actually action.
Now, if you were saying Bloody Christmas, then I'd say that would be a horror.
What about Santa Claus?
Santa Claus is in fact horror, yes. Santa Sleigh with Bill Goldberg.
Bloody Night, Deadly Night. You know what? I think
because that movie I felt is more Die Hard meets.
It is
the Christmas movie, but you close it.
You know what? I'm putting it here. It's really not scary. It is bloody action fun is all that I'm going to say. I just wanted it in one of my categories and I ran out of space. So here you go, Violent Night. It is available now for you to watch. It is a wonderful movie. If you like Die Hard, you are going to love Violent Night. So go check it out. Next, Hellraiser, the new Hellraiser that came out directly to Hulu. I don't know when I became such a Hellraiser fan because I am scared of that cube we have. I know it's just a Rubik's Cube. I'm scared of Hellraiser.
She will not let me buy
the real one.
The fun, like, prop style that actually configures.
No, thank
Every
you.
time I show her one, she's like, no.
No, that's evil.
I'm like, dear, it's not real.
I think what I've loved about Hellraiser, and I even like the old ones. I like
The
the
original
old
one's
ones.
amazing.
And even the second one where they're in the blue.
The first two are really good, and then the rest of them are shit for the most part. But it's always cool to see Pinhead in the Cenobites.
Correct.
And Bradley is the premier Pinhead. He's the Robert Englund.
Can I drink some of your water?
Huh?
Can I drink some of
Yeah,
your water?
I guess so.
Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead.
But I'm with you. Even though this didn't make my list, I love this Hellraiser movie, and she is awesome.
The costumes and the effects were amazing.
She is awesome as Pinhead,
and what they're able to do with all the Cenobites and the new design of like their skin peeling away. It's gross and it's beautiful and it's amazing what they were able to do. So and then it came straight to Hulu and available to everyone was great. Like how could you not? But check it out. It is very cool. I'm gonna go in this order. This one is the other one that I really like. Black Phone.
Black Phone's really good.
And I think why is because it's set in the 70s. And when you see it and you realize this is what we lived through, it would have been so easy to be kidnapped.
The
like
70s and 80s were premier time to kidnap people.
Oh my gosh, we could have easily been kidnapped. This could have been us. I think that's what struck me so much about this. Just like la la la, see a man in the van, hello sir, and they grab you. Like this could happen in real life. That's what I loved about Black Phone. This one probably nobody is gonna love it as much as me. It came.
I did like the movie because it was a movie that I didn't expect it to be what it is.
Yeah, Run, Sweetheart, Run. It has an element of. Can I say what it is? My favorite thing in the world, vampires. Check it out. It's really good. And then the one that
we're in a different. We're kind of in a different opinions on where this goes.
I don't know if this is a drama.
I think this falls more in a drama thriller.
Yeah,
but there's a horror element to it, so I can see what you're...
A little bit, but the menu...
We both agree that it's an amazing movie.
It is amazing. And, yeah, I don't know. We had a moment. We just got back from the Star Cruiser, the Star Wars Star Cruiser. There was a moment...
I was saying, why are we just talking about... But it's a different show.
Show. We just did a review of it. Go check it out on our website, YouTube, Instagram, I don't know, Twitter. Anyhow... There's a moment where at the dinner they're like, "This evening we're presenting a menu," and you're like, "He was like, oh my god, it's a menu. Are we about to die?" It was the exact
scenario where he goes, "This menu was inspired because they did a Feast of the Planets." So this menu was inspired by Kashyyyk and the rough, the terrain and the meats and the animals and blah blah blah. And then all the waiters come out with the plates at the same time.
And you're like, this is the menu. Are we about to die?
I said, we saw how this movie ended.
Oh my gosh. So those were my top horror picks.
Okay, so this is my list because I'm apparently an analog.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't told there was going to be a fun element to our show today, so I just get Miss Drew picks. Is there even a Mr. Bobby's picks?
No.
Wow.
You didn't tell me.
You didn't even give me you could have still made that, and at least you suck. No, don't make it now. I don't want it now. Put Miss Drew's picks back up. You're a jerk. So mine I have some that are the same as yours, and some that one of them that didn't make your list baffles me.
Really?
And you're probably gonna go, "Oh man," when I tell you. So one of them we did discuss that I kept on the list was the movie Studio 666, which is the movie that
I have a slide for it. Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters. It's a horror film with the Foo Fighters.
I have it.
There's no business working it, but it's fun. It's hilarious.
It's honorable mention.
Bloody. I thought it was fun. The Black Phone made my list as well.
Oh, good.
Part of the reason that I like the Black Phone outside of what you're saying is there was a supernatural element that I knew was going to be there, and I thought it was going to take it out to a kind of a cheesy way.
Yeah.
But I thought it was handled so cleverly that it just works. And Ethan Hawke was just creepy as shit.
Great.
Of course, I couldn't pass. You didn't see this one, but I could not do a horror list and not say Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 was amazing. The one with the
clown.
It's Art the Clown. It's crazy. It's bloody. It's one that came out of left field, made a buttload of money, which means we're for sure getting Terrifier 3.
Nice.
And making people throw up at the theaters. They submitted it for an Oscar. There's all kinds of fun stuff with it that just killed me. This next one is actually a double feature.
Is it this?
Because they both came out. Yes, because they both came out same year. For the movie X and then the prequel movie Pearl.
I agree. They're good.
Pearl's not as much of a horror film as X is.
X is great.
But it feeds into that craziness of it. And her monologue is so good at the end of the movie that it just fits perfection.
It was on my list.
But the films work together.
I couldn't pick.
And there is going to be a third part of that series.
Nice.
And the last movie, which I'm surprised you haven't mentioned, but maybe it'll be somewhere else, is Prey, the new Predator film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that didn't end up on your thing.
I don't have it in horror. That's
you put it in action?
I think so.
Okay, well, I looked at it as a horror because Predator's always kind of been more of a horror. Again, Prey is another one of those that I thought there was a brilliant idea, wasn't sure how well it worked, and it knocked it out of the freaking park.
Yeah.
Especially for being a Hulu film.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way they're going to nail a Predator film on Hulu. Same way with Hellraiser. Hellraiser was awesome, but they knocked it out of the park. So those are my top horrors.
There you go.
With no pictures except for the one you gave because it was one you made for yourself.
Wow. I had some though. Okay.
Right, let's move on to comedy.
Okay.
Or what order do you have yours
I
on?
have comedy.
Okay. I have a feeling that our comedy group is probably going to be completely opposite.
Okay. Here's my top comedy picks. Top 5.
We might have some of the same.
Okay. This one you definitely do not. I picked a romantic comedy.
I do not have it.
Marry Me with Jennifer Lopez.
Actually, I do have a romantic comedy.
I have watched this movie probably 4 or 5 times.
Have you really?
I have.
We watched that movie in February at Disney at our hotel on my Amazon Fire Pass.
Yes, we did. And you know what? I really have enjoyed it. This one I hope you have. This is Nicolas Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Yes. I love this movie so
I
much.
had no interest. Not super into Nicolas Cage, but this is a good movie.
Such a great movie.
So good. I hope you saw it. If you didn't, go check it out. It really deserves your time and attention. So good. He's good. Okay. This one, totally out of left field, caught me by surprise. And I don't know why I love this movie.
It's a dark comedy.
It is, but drama. It's called I Love My Dad.
It is a great movie.
The thing is, it's based on a true story.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's weird. It's funny.
And it's out there. And oh my god! I
didn't even think about adding that one to my list, but that's a good one.
So fun. I really enjoyed it. This one had no interest in seeing at all.
And you had no idea what it was about.
No idea what it's about. This is also a true story. It's the greatest beer run ever. And it's
Zac
Efron, who has no business
it's another one that's kind of a comedy drama.
It is, but this is such a good movie.
It is a great movie.
It's fun and it gives you some feels. So I really loved it. And I'm so glad we have a comedy. I totally forgot
about this one.
I'm so glad we have a comedy section just so I can put this in here. This is Eugenio Derbez and The Valet. It is a remake of a remake, but it is so fun.
It's almost the same movie as Marry Me.
Kind of, yes.
Same idea.
Yes. Yeah, the poor normal guy that, falls with the rich famous chick.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm just so happy that we had this for him.
Yeah, yes. I'm happy with him.
Love him.
His show Acapulco is awesome.
And it's coming back for another season, and it's in the news lately. It's a great show. So just check it out. Really, really good.
All right. My comedy's going completely off the rails.
Okay.
Vader. So my first one, again, is one you didn't see. But I think I really want to watch it. Well, I want you to see it. Maybe we'll watch it tonight if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Is the movie Bros.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Eichner's romantic comedy, but it's about gay people.
What?
And it got a lot of backlash. I know I got a lot of heat from people being like, I'd never watch that film.
Just posting about
How can you like this movie? Because it's gay people. I'm like, it's a romantic comedy with gay couples. Guess what? Gay people live out there. Get over it. But it is freaking hilarious. I honestly think after you see it, you're going to love this movie and it would have made your list.
Okay.
It is one of my favorite comedies of the year. Like I came out of that theater seeing it going, this is on the list. Like I wasn't even out of my seat. This is on the list. The next one is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Okay, good.
And it kind of falls in action, comedy, whatever, but it's straight funny.
It's out there, yeah.
My next one is Clerks 3.
Yes,
but that's also a lot of nostalgia for me, and I love that series. And I also think that's probably the most heartfelt one in the series.
It really is.
It's very gosh darn it, Randall and Dante got to really act the hell out of that movie.
They did.
Then I added Easter Sunday with Joe Coy.
I love that.
But that was a movie that at the beginning of the movie didn't work really well. It felt like, oh no,
it was trying to find its legs.
But then it ended up being a really fun movie.
I really liked it. And I think from the immigrant perspective of
the cultures and everything
yeah,
else was
being
great.
first generation and dealing with your parents who are still living the old ways, but you're in a new country. It's hilarious.
And my last one was the Weird Al movie. Weird the Al
I
Yankovic
knew you
story.
were going to pick that.
Because it's
You
another
love it.
movie that I was so looking forward to. But the reason the Al movie works, the Weird Al movie works so great is because it's a parody of movies about biography movies with some elements of the truth and some elements are so far from the truth. It's the only way you could tell Weird Al's story, and it's so great. And all the press that went with it was fun. Same thing with the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It was really great. I love that movie. The only downside to the Weird movie was that it was a Roku exclusive. So hopefully they get some other release so a wider audience can find it.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right.
Head to drama. What is your next? Animated.
Okay, animated is
fine.
that okay? All right.
We're gonna probably have a few of the same ones.
Okay, top animated features of the year. Oh my gosh, I love Turning Red. I want to say we've probably seen it 20 times only because the baby was here.
Early on,
the granddaughter,
we had to catch
she
her.
would actually pay attention to this. So
and that was when she wasn't paying attention to much of anything.
But you know what? I really like this movie, and I think I even shed a tear here or there because again, it's that immigrant story and trying to. I feel like really connected to Asian culture where you do everything to make your family happy, no matter what, even a self-sacrificing way, and then being able to find your own way through life is amazing. And I know I'm probably reading too much into an animated feature.
I don't think you are,
but
it's weird though that this movie is also one that got a lot of controversy. Because essentially it's the metaphor for the woman's period.
Correct.
And not necessarily period itself, but becoming a woman. And people are like, oh, you shouldn't be teaching this kind of stuff to kids. Then there was like a lot of the forced stuff, and it's everything that somebody complains about because it's not a man.
Yeah.
But I actually really like this movie too. I remember
really
coming out and watching it. I was like, holy crap. I think they did a disservice for that movie because I believe it came straight to video or straight to Disney Plus.
Disney.
And I think that's another big contention that they made a lot of bad decisions during that time.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But I get it at the same time for business purposes.
That's what we had to do. Okay. This is my favorite movie in the whole world. Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
This is a movie that has no business working.
No. When I saw and you told me about it and I went and watched the short films on YouTube and then I totally cried at this movie. And I even got teary-eyed when you watched it again here. I was like, oh, his grandma and all that. I mean,
and you're like, why aren't you crying?
Exactly. I'm just like, this movie really gets me in the feels. I hope it made in my top 10. I don't even know what I put in there, but there you go. This one I think didn't have any business working either, but I thought it was really cute. This one came directly to Apple TV Plus, and it was the movie Luck.
Yeah, there was another one too that surprised me. That it didn't make my list, but I remember coming out of it going, that was a pretty fun movie.
Really fun, and that cat is snarky, and I really loved it. So
what did I tell you? We watched it. It was very much like watching.
Oh, my nose is itchy. Excuse me. I don't know.
I don't remember now. We compared it to something else. Kind of the vibe of it.
Yeah, it was really good. Bad Guys, which I think surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, because we were mostly just tired of the trailers.
I was so tired. I was just ready for the movie. It was a really good movie, and it's another one of those about family. And it was a little bit like Fast and Furious, but with animated animals. Yeah. It was really good. And then I had no interest in this movie at all. I was over it. I didn't even care about Buzz Lightyear. But you guys, this movie got me in the feels.
And it's another one that it considered a bomb.
I don't know why. It is a great.
It is a movie that didn't need to exist. But I really like this movie too.
It's a great action.
It was one that was on my top list and it got bumped for something else.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I'm surprised that Puss in Boots didn't make your list over one of these.
I think I forgot about it. Honestly,
I told you while we were sitting.
I know, but I forgot about it.
I would have expected Lightyear get bumped for Puss in Boots, but anyway, it's fine what it is.
I think I watched the Puss in Boots show so much that.
So my list with no pictures except for the pictures you made for yourself. But you'll have some of these. Of course, I was late to the party, but Marcel is amazing.
Marcel is awesome.
I did like Marcel with the Shell with shoes on. And I knew about Marcel. I had seen those videos years ago when they were first popular.
I've never seen it.
And I remember when they were saying they were making movies, I was like, I'm not watching this stupid movie. And then I watched the trailer and I'm like, holy crap. I was so bummed I couldn't go to the screening. And I said to you, and you're like, I don't want to watch this. And then you watch the shorts, you're like, I'm so going to this.
And I love it. You need to watch the shorts before watching the film.
Yeah. But you don't have to.
You don't
can
have
just
to,
watch
but
the
it
movie.
helps.
Again, I picked The Bad Guys as well because that was another one of those that I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the animation. I thought it was unique. It worked. It had a vibe of the Spider-Man across the Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing, but also it's traditional stuff, and the characters are fun. It's action. It's great. I also went with Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Of course you did.
Because I love stop motion animation.
Dark,
I also was
though.
thinking about adding Wendell and Wild.
It's dark.
But I decided to bump it for Pinocchio because it's dark. It's just so well done.
Different. It is.
I just really, I didn't expect to like it.
The time and the care they put into that movie, you can tell.
And I'm not a huge Pinocchio story fan, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get bored. I really loved it. Turning Red, I added as well. I did love it as well.
Great. I'm glad.
I love the movie when it came out, but also it's probably stuck more on me because I've been watching it with the grandkids so many times.
Yes.
I'm tired of this stupid movie.
I love it still.
The last one, there was no way it was going to be on your list, but I added Mad God. It was one of my favorite animated movies that we talked about last week, I believe. It's Phil Tippett stop motion animation that took
with
30
that
years.
Weird helmet.
Yeah, 30 years to get completed. It's on Shudder. It's on Blu-ray now. I think it's such a beautifully horrific piece of genius cinema that I think people should check out.
There you go. Okay.
And the last one would be action.
I have drama, and then I have
action. I forgot you skipped it. Okay, drama. Whatever.
Drama. Let's go to dramas.
For technology purposes, we're on to Drew, and then to Bobby and his piece of paper.
Guys, I can't believe I picked this, but I picked The Tender Bar. You know what? This movie really got me in the feels. Ben Affleck is good, guys. Affleck. I know sometimes he gets a little bit of flack here and there, but he is so good in this movie. And this is such a wonderful coming of age story. And this one really got me in the feels, and it was unexpectedly so. I didn't expect it at all. I was just like, yeah, let's watch it. But I think
also that movie. Sorry, that threw me. I'll have to read it to you later. I think also at the time there's this movie, and then there's the other one that came out, I guess, was a couple of years ago, where he's the basketball coach, and knowing with that one dealing with drinking, and this one working at a bar, and knowing the real life struggles that Ben Affleck has had with alcohol, I think there's a deeper thing there, playing a character that deals with these things. That it feels more personal.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also think he's become a way more amazing actor since he became a really good director.
Correct.
I was always a Ben Affleck fan, but he was kind of the Jimmy Stewart of this era, where he's the same in every movie for a while. Come here, buddy.
He needs to go out.
I know. You have to wait. What else we got?
Next, I picked Father Stew. Again, another unexpected choice from me.
It is a good movie.
But it is a really good movie. It's based on a true story. And I think what I admire so much about Mark Wahlberg is his devotion. He is extremely devout Catholic. We know he wakes up like at 4 a.m. every day to do his prayers and then work out. And he worked so tirelessly to get this movie made.
Because he paid for this movie.
He did. And then he has that new version that's coming out, right?
So basically what happened is the movie came out, it's rated R. Let's wait. Rated R. But what he did is I think it was for Christmas, or maybe it was his Easter or Christmas. It was Christmas. He did a recut of it to make a PG-13 version so more people could see it. Because it was never bad. It was just, there's some elements to it that are more adult.
But I appreciated that movie. This one you knew I was going to pick. Yeah, if you don't mind.
I'll do it.
I'm going to sneeze.
I'll be back. I'm looking at my list for
Excuse me.
Can you go out? Can you go outside?
You want to go outside, baby?
No, you're just being annoying.
Okay. The next one, of course, you know I was going to pick. I'm a huge Elvis fan. I have been, most of my life. My father was always a huge Elvis fan, so we grew up watching the Live from Hawaii. We had the albums. We had all sorts of stuff that we would listen to. And, I even grew up, we knew all the guys in the band. Like, there's Jerry Shift. There's this guy. Here's the guy. And there's the Sweet Temptation, whatever their name. Like, we knew all these ladies. And Austin Butler did such an amazing job of bringing Elvis back to life, so much that Priscilla was like, "Oh my gosh, I thought it was him."
I think you even mentioned before on the trailers, you were like,
I was here and there because I don't want one of those Elvis Las Vegas Elvis things on there, like the guy on the street. But this was an amazing movie.
But I can tell you, though, this was on my list at one point. It got bumped. I am not an Elvis fan in any
You are
shape or
not
form.
in any
I
way.
don't like Elvis.
I was concerned about you watching the movie.
But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go in because I can watch a biopic of some biopic. Is I'm saying that right?
Yes.
Of somebody and not be a fan of them, but I'm interested in their history. And Elvis is one of those. Like I've been to Graceland. I've been to Elvis's home. I recognize what he did at the time and that kind of stuff. I'm just not a fan of the music.
Yeah.
And I'm also one of the people that used to talk about him, you know, basically still in black culture and stuff. But the story of the movie paints a different picture. That if you see it, you start realizing it's not so much of the stealing, depending on who you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's the homage to the music came before. And who knows how much of that is true in Hollywood. But I agree with you. I thought the movie was amazing. And he was excellent.
Since it was told from the point of Colonel Tom Parker, it presents a new version to see.
I was impressed that they mimicked the performances so well. And they released a new version.
I want to see that.
I think it is like a 4-hour version. Or something.
The full concert.
Some version, full concert versions. You can see all the concerts in their entirety in the film.
Because he did the full concerts.
Yeah.
Austin Butler did, so it's amazing.
And that he sang it and everything else was very impressive.
Amazing.
I agree with you.
Okay, I picked The Northman. This movie is unique.
It's an acquired taste.
It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit mystical.
You want to go out?
But I'm going to tell you, these people worked so hard on this film. It deserves to be seen. Your main characters, so we know Skarsgård's buff and ripped and awesome, but just the story of this is so cool that we bring some of this Viking history to our modern day times. And I really enjoyed it. And I know you enjoyed it because it is that Viking history and mythology and the lore.
See, this movie inspired my hair.
And I just thought it was amazing. And everyone's performance is amazing. And I like that parts of it were in Norse and there was not really any kind of translation. There was a little bit here and there when you're with the soothsayer. But overall, it was just presented and it was laid out. And I loved it. It was so good. Okay, this one, it took me by surprise. This is another one. This is the one with John Cho, and it's called Don't Make Me Go. And it's that story where you think one character is going through something, and then the twist hits you, and it's somebody else completely.
Yeah.
This movie was so emotional, and it really got me in the feels. And John Cho is so good. He's not just that funny kid anymore. He is a very good dramatic actor, and I hope you will see it. It is on Prime Video.
All right, so for mine with no pictures.
I'm sorry, baby. I'm
just gonna keep doing this.
I thought you knew.
No.
I apologize.
You asked me, do you want to do things? I said, no, we don't need to do that. And you're like, okay.
I'll put some
and then we come in here
for you.
The one time you're prepared for something, it's for yourself.
I put slides because I was like, hey,
you're never prepared for anything. And you're over there yelling at me about, she was doing something else before the show that was very cool and important. But then she's like, stress, I'm not ready. Now I know why you weren't ready, because you were doing this.
Well,
anyway,
I have slides ready.
To my analog. One of my favorite dramas is a very depressing movie, but it's The Well. I thought it was so good with Brendan Fraser. It's kind of, even though he hasn't been gone, it's kind of his comeback, and like it's a punch in the face.
That movie
kick in the
is
nuts.
Amazing.
Probably, it's the greatest performance of his career. But might be one of the best performances I've seen from an actor in a long time. Just really the layers of it.
Really good movie.
And he's not the only one. The lady, the Asian lady, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. But she's amazing in it too, and she's also in The Menu.
Yeah,
and she's amazing in The Menu as well.
Great in The Menu.
So anyway, my second movie, speaking of which, is The Menu. I put that one as a drama for me because I kind of look at drama, thriller, horror, thriller, drama, romance. It's kind of how I break them up. I felt it had more of a drama element than a horror element, but it fits in all those categories. It fits drama, horror. It's a little funny. It's just creepy. It is. But I felt drama category. I love The Menu. Menu is probably one of my top favorite movies of the year.
Really good.
My next one, which bumped Elvis. I apologize.
That's okay.
This one may not be the one that bumped Elvis, but it was Empire of Light. I love that movie with Olivia Colman and Colin Firth. And I think that's one of those two that
I'm still kind of torn on it. I mean, it is a good movie, but I was just like,
it's not a movie I would watch again. I've seen it twice now because I watched it
grab
with
the
you.
dog.
But it's the kind of movie that when I saw it the first time, right in front of the screen, when I saw it the first time, I went to a double feature, and I knew nothing about either movie I was watching. And it ended up being one of those. I came out, I'm like, holy crap, I really love that movie. It's a talkie, as she likes to say. It's heavy, it's funny, it's dark. It deals with some social stuff and some racism stuff and love and mental health, and there's just so many levels of stuff that
And Olivia Colman is amazing.
That it stuck with me. But my concern was, could I watch this movie again and still like it? And so months later, when I finally watched it with you,
yeah.
I was like, wow, I still love this movie just as much. It wasn't as impactful because now I knew what was going to happen. And what you may not have heard me say is, because when I saw it the first time, I didn't even know what it was. I was like, I hope I stay awake because I have no idea what I'm about to watch. So I love that movie.
It was good.
Much like you, my next was also The Northman. I loved The Northman. And I know some people watched the movie and are like, this movie sucked. Other people were like, this is not the movie I was expecting. I thought it was going to be Vikings. And it is, but there's a supernatural element that I can totally see it taking people out of the story. But I liked it because I felt like I was in the myth of the Viking, as opposed to just the TV show Vikings, and you're trying to steal realism. I mean,
but if you go into Viking mythology, that is how they made their decisions by the soothsayers or the witches or whatever.
You're getting to see some of the supernatural elements.
I thought it was amazing.
I think it was beautiful. I think it was weird and strange.
It was.
But I was engaged throughout the entire movie, and I loved it. Excuse me. The last movie, which you still haven't seen, but since it gets nominated, you're going to have to watch it, is The Banshees of Inisherin, which is Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and it's racking up all kind of award nominations already. And I'm a huge Colin Farrell fan, so I was looking forward to seeing it, but it was also the kind of movie that I thought, I hope I don't fall asleep during this one. And this one happened to be the double feature with Empire of Light.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
both talkies.
I came out, and that was a long day, let me tell you. But I came out of both of them and I'm like, holy crap, I've just seen two of the best films of the year. I hope other people see that, and now they're all getting nominations.
That's good.
So those are my dramas.
All right, so we go to top action movies. All right, top action movies. Here we go. This had no business working, and it did. Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun, I've always thought was meh.
Yeah, neither one of us are Top Gun fans.
To me, the most memorable thing was just the song, and it was not even from the movie. It's the video of the lady standing on the plane in her dress doing this. That's what I remember about Top Gun. Because Top Gun's so ridiculous. He meets the lady at the bar, and 5 minutes later, they're a couple.
But nothing happens in Top Gun.
No.
That's the problem.
They're going into the danger zone and talk to me, Goose, and that's it.
They barely go to a danger zone.
They're just like maneuvering, and nothing really happens. But Top Gun Maverick is so good.
And here's what's weird about that movie. I agree with you. Top Gun Maverick is so good. It makes you like the original movie.
Yes.
It makes the story make sense. It fixes the problems of the original movie.
Absolutely.
The relationship, like I agree with you, whereas the first relationship makes no sense. It's too fast-paced to anybody gives a crap. And the new one, even though it's quick, there's history, so it makes more sense.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of repeated elements in the new movie, but it's like they're paying homage to the original movie. The final part of the movie does feel like it went into another movie, but it still works.
But at least they go on a mission. And
yeah. They're doing a mission. They're training for a real mission, not training just to be Top Gun. And then at the end of it, like...
And Tom Cruise still doing all this stuff and still looking good and doing all this. You go, boy.
Yeah, I agree with you. It may not be one of my top movies. Yeah. It may not be one of my top movies, but I did love it.
It was a really good movie.
It was a great movie.
All right. My next action flick.
This one was the one that got bumped.
Sylvester Stallone being Sylvester Stallone, acting his age, fighting at an appropriate level for his age, but still being badass.
And being a
really good. Yes. But I loved it because, as we see our favorite action heroes become older, I think we like to see them mature gracefully.
It's a weird...
His fights are still really good.
Him and Schwarzenegger have both done the same thing, is when they do movies, they kind of play their age.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, there's a divide. There's the people like us that enjoy seeing them when they're being their age, but still being badasses. Yeah. And then there's other people who are like, I don't want to watch this geriatric person punch somebody, because they can't let go of that he's 70, or they're jealous that they're in worse shape and he's 70. But I agree. I love Samaritan. It was on my list.
We watched that Show Us Your Home, Show Us Your Gym show with both of them.
Yeah.
These guys still work out every single day, and they both eat really well.
Yeah, of course. Schwarzenegger's not young Schwarzenegger
But
look anymore.
and he's like, I'm not trying to grip. He's like, I'm doing smaller weights, more reps.
It's all about maintaining life.
And they're still both in better shape than we are. So I ain't gonna say nothing.
This one was on my list as well. It got bumped for other stuff.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Bullet Samaritan was.
Okay, Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. This movie is amazing.
So
I hope you saw it, and if you didn't, go see it right now. It is.
Rent it. You don't have to go anywhere.
Okay, well, don't go.
I think it might be on Netflix now.
I hope so. It is a movie about a bunch of assassins that are after the same briefcase, and craziness ensues. And it's that whole fighting in that small confined space, but some amazing fight scenes, guys. It is. I don't even know how to describe it. It's so good. You need to see it. Here's where I put the movie Prey that came straight to Hulu. This is the Predator film set in Native American times. What I love about this movie is they actually had a Native American expert from that tribe to make sure the language was right, the clothing was right, everything was great. And I think also there is a little female empowerment there because she's like the only woman in the group of warriors, but she has to prove herself. It comes across the Predator. There's the bear.
I think one of the reasons it works so well is it all harkens back to the formula of the original film.
For sure.
Because you don't get to see the Predator right away. There's a lot of the figuring things out, but it's not waiting too long because they know we already know this shit. Let us see it.
Yeah.
But I agree. Prey's amazing.
It is a really good movie. And then, of course, I was going to pick The Woman King. We went to watch this, and I told you, like, the movie starts, and like within 2 or 3 minutes, I'm already like tearing up because the opening scene is just these beautiful dark-skinned women coming out of the jungle, and I'm just like in tears. They're coming out of the grass, and I'm in tears because you don't see an all-female cast of dark-skinned women.
Because they usually get the lighter ones.
You get the lighter skinned, African Americans or Latinas. But I mean, this was amazing. And what they did, and if you watch the behind the scenes and all the training they went through, it's amazing. And I know there's been criticism that the story is not exactly right and this and that. Just ignore that. Just go watch the movie and have fun because it's really good. And I might cry again because it is that good. It was that good.
All right, back to my analog.
Hey, babe, tell me your top actions.
My top actions. It's funny. We have a lot of the same movies, just in different categories.
Okay, that's cool.
So one of my top action movies is Violent Night.
Oh,
so whether you had it for a horror film,
I had it in horror.
I looked at it as an action movie.
It was action.
It's so good. It's a movie that has no business working.
So good.
But it's so great. Bullet Train was also on there because it's such a great movie, action-packed, fun. The Woman King was also on there.
Good.
I'm not going to dwell because we just talked about it. I think for me, though, was not only seeing the cultural stuff in there, but that we spent more time seeing how they prepare to be who they are that I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be more about a lot of political uprisings and that stuff's there.
Yeah.
But it's really more about somebody else's journey, not even Viola Davis. It's this other girl's journey to become one of them and seeing what they go through, but the importance of it. So I like that aspect of it. Top Gun Maverick did make my top list.
Nice.
It's the movie that bumped Samaritan.
Oh, wow.
I thought about it after the fact that I'm like, I love Samaritan, but I think Top Gun's going to get there. And this last one, I really struggle with because I try not to pick comic themed movies on my top 10s because it's obvious because I love all comic things related. But this one worked so much better than I thought it was going to. And I've loved it.
You're going to pick?
No, it is not that.
Oh.
It's the Batman. I loved the Batman.
The one with
Robert Pattinson.
Really?
And it's not a full-on action movie, but it's more of film noir.
It's very dark.
But it's got enough action. And I was so against him playing Batman.
Yeah.
Although I think he's a great actor since getting away from Twilight. I liked the people that were involved. I wasn't sure if I was going to like how they handled the Riddler or any Catwoman stuff. And I just came out of the movie going, man,
it was really good. I love
this movie so much. And I just could not put it on my list.
I agree. No, and I think too, if people take the time to consider what time period of Batman he's playing, he is beginning Batman, and I think he does fit really well.
Well, there's the argument can be said too, but I think that
good.
I like is this is not Batman and this is not Bruce Wayne. This is a lost person who's trying to make up for something that he thinks he's responsible for find his path because he doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He just wants to be Batman so he can make people terrified like he was. He's somebody that's broken.
Very.
And this movie is the build up to not find Batman, but to find Bruce Wayne.
Correct.
And also find forgiveness for himself and find dealing with kind of his mental health of loss, of what he's gone through, of losing his parents. And instead of the same tropes of, I'm going to avenge my parents, this is a broken person. This isn't goth boy like everybody talks about, in my opinion. There's that element to him because that's all, he doesn't care about dying.
Yeah.
And the opening, I knew I was going to love this movie, at least on some level, after the opening narration, which normally I'm kind of against.
Yeah.
When the whole thing was about building fear by making them think I'm going to come out of the shadows even when I don't.
Yes.
And
that was
the
really
visuals of that sequence, and he never shows up.
Yeah.
And then everybody's still freaking out, and when he finally does, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, someone said the Batman was a good detective movie. Absolutely.
Yes,
it was very much that detective Batman era.
That we don't get. And I like the police didn't really like him. That it was kind of, plus you had a kind of, you're not only seeing the buildup of him, but we got to see kind of the birth of the Penguin, which I'm assuming we're still getting the TV series with Colin Farrell, who I thought he stole that movie as the Penguin.
Well, you love Colin Farrell.
Oswald Cobblepot. Anyway, I couldn't resist. I had to put that one on there.
There you go. Okay.
Going to our tops.
Now we're going to the overall top 10 of the year.
Now, we discussed it. I told her you don't have to have a movie from those other lists to be in your top. If you have a movie that you think is above all of those others, you can. But I think you tried to stick as close to.
I did. I picked a couple that were not in my others.
That I put on there that I don't think fits in one category, so that's why I felt it as part of my tops.
I picked a couple. I think I picked two that were not in my previous list. Okay. So we'll see what we got. Oh my God.
You want to go back and forth on this one?
We can.
Because some of them that we've already talked about, I'm sure.
Okay.
So we don't have to go.
Top 10s. I picked Elvis, guys, because I love Elvis so much.
I went with The Menu.
Oh, guess what? The Menu is in my top list as well. It's a great movie. You need to see it.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was one of my favorites.
Okay, good. I picked Violent Night.
Violent Night was going to be one of my top 10s, but because we did categories, I left it in action.
See, and I brought it.
It is still one of my favorite movies of the whole year.
It really is, and I didn't expect it.
But I decided to go with ones that I thought were a little more for me. So, like my third one is The Whale. I think it's one of my favorite movies. It's
really good. I did pick Turning Red. I love it. I connected with it so much, and yeah, I've seen it 20 times, but still.
The Weird Al movie made my top 10.
Of course
only because it's not a movie I would have thought ever worked.
Yeah,
and it's so entertaining. Like I found myself just loving every aspect of that movie.
It's so good. I did pick Marcel. I love Marcel. I know it is ridiculous. It's a cute little short movie, but I cry at this movie every time.
My next one is actually that same double feature, X and Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
That two film thing to me, they're just so great together, and Mia Goth is so good in that movie.
Good.
And then hearing about after Pearl, seeing all this stuff and talking about what they went through to make it and how they found thing, and it was during COVID, and just so impressive what they.
It was on my list. It's on my honorable mentions. That's why I have it here. But just I didn't make that. This was not on my list anywhere else, but I'm bringing it here. Wakanda Forever. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. I thought.
Did you think
the Black Panther was meh?
See, I love the Black Panther.
I think it's okay.
I love Black Panther.
I don't. It was good. I'm not going to say it's not good, but to me, it's part of that bigger story, that whole big series.
See, and I don't think so because the Black Panther is like its own thing. But
I guess, but there's so many characters in and out. And to me, when I think of Black Panther, I'm just feeling like it's when the blip and everybody disappears. That's what I remember from Black Panther.
Black Panther didn't have none of that happen there.
I know, but that's what I remember of Black Panther.
So you created your own story in your brain.
I guess. But this movie was really good, and I think people probably were hating on it because it's too much women power or whatever.
The weirdest thing that came out is because I agree, I love this movie.
I loved it,
and it's a movie I was concerned about because I was like, how do you make a film? I was one of the people that thought they should have recast Chadwick Boseman, not because of I wanted somebody else, but I think there were so many Black Panther stories to tell that I don't think it was a good idea to not recast him. What I do think is they did a genius job of how they can continue the future in the story element. And but going into this movie, knowing they brought in Namor, and I was like, am I going to like this Mayan Namor version? But it helped bring more culture to the film. I
Correct.
agree with you. I really, really love the
And
movie.
that's
But
one
I
of
was
the aspects.
baffled about how many people, especially black women, that were coming up and complaining about how this movie was just degradation to men, about how all the women in this movie are powerful and all the men were subservient to the women. And I'm like, how you can't have it both ways. Like, there's powerful men in this movie left and right.
Yeah.
You have Namor, you have M'Baku, you have the warrior people with Namor. There's a lot of powerful men in this movie. It's just these warrior women and stuff who happen to be the guard, and they were awesome in the first movie, but now they're not because they're whatever messing with men. I'm like, shut up, you people are stupid.
I don't know, but I think the Namor thing is what kind of really got me, because culturally that is my ancestry.
Yeah, because that kind of felt represented.
Yes. So.
And the irony of the whole thing is that you can't swim. They represented you with something you can't do.
Okay.
What did I just tell you? Weirdo?
Yes.
No, X-Pearl's what I told you.
Pearl.
This next one I know is not one of the top movies of the year in any kind of list other than probably mine and a couple other people's, but it's one that his
He blinked out for 1 second.
Oh, I'll go back. It's Clerks 3 because it didn't feel like a cash grab as much. It felt like Kevin Smith had something to say about his heart attack, his life. Clerks 2 was so perfect. It was like, I didn't think we needed it, but I'm like, man, this is even a better cap to that trilogy.
Yeah.
And so I love that movie.
Okay. Sorry, we blinked out for 1 second. I think we're back though.
Who knows I don't know if you heard anything I said, because Tumbro over here misses technology. I haven't messed up anything, have I?
Guys, I picked the new Scream movie. This to me is so nostalgic. I love all of the Scream movies. I love the entire franchise. We watched the little TV show. I mean, I'm into it. I realize it is not the best movie of the year. That's why I didn't put it in my best categories. But to me, this is one of my top movies.
Best movie of the year is the best movie that you think is the best movie.
That's why I put it in my top 10, because I love the whole franchise. And seeing our main characters kind of round out their stories, and now we're going to move on fresh with the new movie.
Sort of. Ish. Courtney Cox is still there.
I mean, to me, this was just such a big deal. I feel like I grew up watching these movies.
And you've always been a Scream fan.
And I think Scream was the first time where we started that shift of horror is the slasher, but now it's more mental. Like we're thinking the evolved thing where we get to something like the Babadook, where it's an intelligent horror thriller and you're thinking about it. Or even
there's even a whole sequence in this movie where they talk about we're into evolved horror now.
We're involved
elevated horror.
Yeah, it's elevated and it's intellectual, and there's sub levels of story and meaning, and it's not just your slasher movie. And I tried to explain this to someone about horror. It's not slashers anymore. There's themes and there's different elements and metaphors that we can explore through horror. And that's why I just loved it.
That's why Saw works so well, too.
Yes. It's very elevated.
We're getting a new Saw movie this year.
So excited. Okay, continue.
Of course, Banshees of Inisherin landed on this because it's just really good.
Okay. My next one was the movie Prey, because I love all things Predators.
That surprised me.
And I think also tapping into the Native American story was important. Okay.
How do you only have 2 more?
Because
I still have 3 more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 2 more. Tell me. Okay, tell me one.
Anyway, my next one is Bros. I really like that movie.
Really love this movie.
It's so funny.
I'm gonna watch it.
So anyway, next.
Oh, I didn't know it was back to me. Sorry. Hellraiser.
That baffles me that you liked it that much. I
loved it because my favorite thing is the chatter thing.
I know.
I love the Cenobites.
I just would not have thought this would be that you would have loved it that much.
I think I've really gotten into with the new movie and going back and revisiting the original or whatever. I think intellectually it makes me think of that whole distinction of what is heaven, what is hell, and it even brings me back. We watched what's the movie, the spaceship movie that it's probably horrible.
Oh, Event Horizon.
Event Horizon, and the idea that there are different levels of hell, and hell is
Event Horizon is Hellraiser.
it is, but Hellraiser is much better. I love
in space,
but
they made that movie too.
But that idea that hell and the torture and the cycle, it is in your mind in a way, and we don't know what hell will actually be like. But I think with these movies, it's that thing that most at your core is frightening or disturbing, and that you're living it over and over. But the idea in this movie that the guy wanted to get to the next level of whatever it was, only to find out it's still torture. Yeah. So the idea to me in this movie is you're wanting to get more money, more fame, more power, but the more you get, the worse your life becomes. Pain. Yes. And
it's a metaphor for life.
It is.
And it's sacrifice.
And I know, again, people are probably like, it's just a crazy.
It's what are you willing to sacrifice for the good or the bad in life?
Yes.
The Hellraiser movies are kind of that same thing.
And maybe I'm being too intellectually whatever about Hellraiser, but to me, that's what really got me, is this man's journey to get more and more power or money or fame. It just to find out it's just more torture and horror at the bottom of it. I mean, it was sad to me, but the movie and the makeup was amazing. That's why I love this movie.
Sorry. I actually bumped The Northman on my top just because I thought it was so good. Visually, it was a movie that I didn't expect to really go all in like it did, and the more I've sat with it, I really loved it.
It's a great movie. That's why. Okay, my last one, The Woman King, of course.
You and your Woman
King. I loved this movie. It was so good.
They should do a Woman King, Lion King crossover. She could come out of the ground and be like ready to kill him. We go, Hakuna Matata. Let it go. Let's not fight anymore. My last one is the one that is not on any list I post. Okay. Because I couldn't figure out what list to put it on. It's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh.
with the Wiener fingers. I love this movie, but it's weird. It's funny. It's dramatic. It's an action movie.
Really good.
It's
emotional.
It's so many things of things that shouldn't work.
And I think too, it's also that immigrant story in your first generation, trying to please your family but find your own way, and then the parents trying to sacrifice everything to make your life better.
And I think there's also an element too for me of seeing Short Round return to the big screen. I know that's his name is Ki-Hu Tran Kwan. I never mind, forget it. But I've been a fan of Michelle Yeoh since Jackie Chan days. She's
amazing.
And so seeing her finally get to, because over the last few years, she's always been on the forefront of doing stuff, but seeing her showing up in things like Star Trek, and now she's on the prequel for The Witchfinder, and doing all this big stuff in Shang-Chi, and seeing her do things that are these big things, and people know who she is now, and then getting her to see in this movie that's a little fart movie, independent film that's so weird and bizarre,
but it's winning.
That has been blown thing. Like, she could win an Oscar for this movie. It's amazing. It's a very real possibility, and it would make my heart so happy to see her win an Oscar. And I think the fact
that she's the lead and Jamie Lee Curtis is her supporting actress.
Yes,
I'm like, you go, girl.
And Jamie Lee Curtis, I think her
has been so supportive.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Short Round have all been nominated for Golden Globes for this movie.
I hope
and the movie was nominated for Best Picture and the directors. It's just such a weird.
It is a trip, so people may not get it.
And it's got one of the best fight scenes ever, where a guy fights with a trophy in his butthole.
It's people may not get it though, and I hope you can look past some of the weird thing and just understand the story.
Yeah, because the stuff at the end when they're finally coming together about everything is heartbreaking, but it's also heartfelt. And there's so much. There's so much in this movie that I couldn't figure out a category for it, that I decided it could only be in my top 10.
There you go. Anything else? Any others that you wanted to mention?
I can just give you my quick backups, because there's only a few here that we didn't talk about. Samaritan, Elvis, Lightyear were all ones that we talked about that were all on my backup list. The movie Troll, which is really good on Netflix. It's such a great movie. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is so good, but if you don't like Beavis and Butthead, you won't care.
Yeah.
And again, that's more nostalgic fun for me. I'm going to say this publicly on video. I thought the Munsters movie was fun.
You did like
It's
it.
exactly what I thought I was going to get from it. I don't know what people thought they were going to get that had been hating on it. And I also love the fact that everybody that were in the movie that played the main characters, despite people hating on it publicly, they're posting about it all the time. Like, I don't know what all the hate. I love playing Grandpa. I thought we had great fun.
There you
go. Also, the outfit, which has been bouncing around my stuff, which is the one about the tailor.
Yeah,
that
man is amazing.
Yes, that movie bounced around every one of my lists from day one
because it's drama, it's action, it's
a little comedy,
yeah. Dark comedy. It's all over.
And he was also really good in what is that, Bones and All, or whatever it's called.
Yes.
This one doesn't deserve to be on any list, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Is the Aqua Teen Plantasm?
Oh my god!
Movie, again, because I'm a huge fan of Aqua Teen, I thought we were done with it. So we got a surprise movie out of it. It just was that nostalgia love, and not only that, it spawned the release of the complete series that I got to revisit the thing. So it kind of hit my list. And that's it. That's my main ones I just put for follow-ups for my happiness.
I had a couple of things that didn't make the cut.
Let me guess. You have a slideshow for this.
Orphan First Kill, just because.
Hold on. Do you have a slideshow for all of these?
Yeah.
For all your runner-ups as well?
Well, because I threw everything.
I didn't even get a slideshow for my man. Your runner-ups have a slideshow?
Well, because I threw everything on slides, and then I went through my slides.
I'll be on the phone. You go ahead.
Wow. Orphan First Kill. I liked the first Orphan movie.
I did too.
This is the prequel that was shot years after, and I think just what they did cinematography wise to make her look younger, the same girl. And I like what's her name? Her name escaped me. The mom.
I don't remember who the mom was.
It doesn't matter. I liked the movie. I know a lot of people didn't. That's okay. You don't have to like what I like. They Them, which came to Peacock, which was the sleepaway camp slasher type film, but dealing with people who are dealing with, it's like a conversion camp killer. That was, I think, clever, and Kevin Bacon was really good in that movie. I think you have to bring in the new Chainsaw Massacre. Why are all my movies horror movies? I'm rekindling my love of horror.
I know for a long time I couldn't get you.
I know.
This website made me force you to watch horror again.
I know, but the new Chainsaw Massacre movie,
it is fun.
Was
I like
really good. The movie Breaking, with
John Boyega.
Yes,
that is a great movie.
It is great. It's based on a true story, and it is like shocking and had me in tears. It was so good. You mentioned Studio 666, the Foo Fighters movie, which I don't even care anything about the Foo Fighters, but this movie was really good. You mentioned X and Pearl. The movie Fresh, I really loved this movie. It was so good, and it is a dark comedy about cannibalism, and it works. You need to watch it. The movie Nope, which I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but it really does, and it's a really good movie, and I hope you saw it. And then something we just talked about last week, the movie Women Talking, was very moving. And also that it's a true story based on true events is horrific and crazy at the same time. I hope you see it.
All right.
That's it.
That was we just did a double show today and still finished off about the same time. So tell us your favorite movies, because, there's obviously stuff we miss sometimes that relate to the party, and everybody has their own opinion, so I'm always interested to see what somebody's like. I don't ever tell somebody that movie sucks because you like it.
You might like it.
I'll tell you, like, I have no idea why you like that movie, but I love seeing what people's opinions are and what they are drawn to. So shoot us a message on our website or on the videos. Tell us your favorite top 5, top 10 movies, whatever.
There you go.
And let's open some discussions, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's no wrong answers here.
Well,
you might be a fan of My Life is Zucchini.
Hey, you know what? People liked it.
It's a great movie.
There you go.
Now people are going to go be looking up My Life is Zucchini, figure out what the hell I'm talking about.
It's a movie. It's a for real movie.
It is a real movie.
Anyways, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Go find us on our website, hollywoodmatrimony.com. Also, we're on Instagram and Hive.
And we'll see you next week for an all-new episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live.
Thank you so much.
Peace out.
Bye.